If you're a fan of shoujo manga, you've probably heard of the term Yankee romance. And so, what is a Yankee? A Yankee character is basically a troublemaker, typically in high school. They're typically in something like a gang. They fight sometimes. They might smoke cigarettes. They might ride a motorcycle. And there's a lot of Yankee romance series out there. And because they're more of a troubled, kind of like bad boy character, they can also be women, but just typically in romance series, more likely they are men. It's fun to watch kind of a bad boy story or read a bad boy story. So I have 5 Yankee romance series that I want to recommend. 4 of them are high school series. One of them is more of a workplace series, but all 5 are very good. And I tried to pick 5, some more common than others. I guess 3 of them are very well loved, and one of them is a little bit less known. And yeah, so first one is called Hana ni Kamiguse. This one is a Yankee series where our protagonist is the only daughter of a rich family, that kind of setting, where one day she finds this boy passed out in the middle of the street. Turns out he has memory loss, so she takes him home. Her father meets with him one on one. Obviously, learns something about him that our female protagonist doesn't know about, and he is hired as her bodyguard. And because he has memory loss, he kind of just goes with the flow. He hangs out with her, and he's like the sweetest sweetie pie ever. Like, he's so kind to her. She really, really likes him. She names him Yuki. But one day, when she tries to sneak out alone into an alley, she's about to get kidnapped or something, he appears and just like beats everybody up, and it's way out of pocket. And so we learn that he's actually very good at fighting. He's actually a very, very good bodyguard. Like, what was he doing before the memory loss? We don't know. So this is, well, technically, he's not considered like a Yankee character. He's good at fighting and he's mysterious, and that is enough for me to include him in my Yankee manga romance list. Next one has Yankee in the title, so you know it's a Yankee romance series, and it's called Megane Tokidoki Yankee-kun. It does have an English, which is Glasses with a Chance of Delinquent. This is a very, very good one. It stars our female lead here, Momose, who in her middle school years was plagued by just really, really mean Yankee students. They kind of picked on her because she was kind of like nerdy looking, I guess, which isn't a reason to pick on somebody. But so she had awful time when she was going to high school. She did not want to be picked on anymore. So she made a high school debut. She dyed her hair. She made herself extra cute. And she meets Ichikura, who is kind of like an honors student. He wears his glasses. He's very, very studious. The two of them end up joining the same club where after school one day, she runs into one of those Yankee students at her former school who were making fun of her. And the former school's Yankee student thinks it's hilarious that she did a high school debut, and he starts to pick on her again in front of Ichikura, where Ichikura lets his honors student mask slip. And we learn that he is a former Yankee. And throughout the series, Ichikura kind of teaches Momose that while there are pretty mean Yankee students, there's also very nice Yankee students. And we get to watch as he just kind of protects her and like brings her into his friend group, and it's just very sweet. And that one is a very beloved one, I feel. Next one is also technically not a Yankee series, but he is a troublemaker, so I'm including it on my list. And it is Haru no Arashi to Monster, or Spring Storm and Monster. This one, you can't tell me that he's not a troublemaker. Just look at him. This one is about our female lead named Ran, unfortunately finds her mother getting remarried to a man who brings in this boy named Kaya. And though Kaya isn't related to the man feels like he needs to bring Kaya in. Kaya needs a home. He needs stability because he is very, very troubled. No matter where he goes, so he's lived with other people before. No matter where he goes, he finds trouble or trouble finds him. Either way, he does not stay for long. But now that Kaya here is living with our female lead Dan tries to treat him like a brother, but he very, very quickly becomes like very, very attached to Ran in a kind of concerning way. And he does not like it when other boys at her school, because they go to two different schools, he does not like it when other boys from her school even look at her. So he brings a lot of trouble. There is a lot of fighting. He's he's bad. He's I love this series, but he's terrible, but like in an entertaining way. Another one is called "Hikaeme ni itte kore wa ai." This one also has an English called "Love That's an Understatement." This one is my favorite Yankee romance. It's the best. And it tells the story of our honors student Lisa, who can do literally everything by herself. Literally in her backpack, she carries anything anybody could ever possibly need. Like if she were one day stranded on a desert island, on a deserted island, she would be fine because she has everything she needs. That level of preparedness. And she meets this boy here, Zen, who is a Yankee. She doesn't really save him, but she gives him hope one day after he was beat up and left alone in the rain. And so eventually she saves him, they part ways. He spends a while looking for her because he feels indebted to her. He wants to know more about her. And then he eventually does find her, where she agrees to tutor him and his little group of friends. And then from there, we get to watch as Zen kind of teaches Lisa that it's okay to depend on people. Like Zen is very, very dependable. Like everybody loves him for a good reason because he's a very good Yankee, even though he does fight. And Lisa teaches Zen. I don't know. She doesn't she teaches him like education things, like pedagogically. She's a very good teacher, but it talks about the romance and stuff, and it's very, very nice. There is like the teeniest, tiniest bit of drama in that there is a triangle that appears at one point, but it dissolves very quickly, so don't worry. And the last one, this one I think is pretty unknown. This one does not have an English translation, and it is called Yankee Assistanto no. My eyes are bad. Yankee Assistanto no Ashizawa-kun ni koi o shita. That's what that's called. And this is a very, very thin series. It's done at 2 volumes. I've only read the first volume, so I can't speak for what happens in volume 2. But it talks about this woman here who is a mangaka, a manga artist, and her assistant. And so she's working on her manga. Her normal assistant can't come one day, so that assistant promises to send somebody in their place. And she's like, okay, I guess whatever. But the person that comes in their place is this very, very clearly Yankee boy. And she's a little bit put off by him at first because he does come off a little bit aggressive. But we learn his aggressiveness is because she is his favorite author. And he is just so excited that he's in front of his favorite author and working for his favorite author. Like he cannot contain himself. And it just so happens to come out in a kind of slightly aggressive way. And we just follow the two of them as like he clearly loves her and she slowly starts to gain interest in him. And it's just nice. There is no like typical like fighting. All the other series I introduced here does have fighting. I feel like that's a common characteristic of a Yankee romance series. This one does not have fighting, at least in volume 1, but it has Yankee in the title and he's clearly a Yankee character and he speaks in a very rough way. Yeah. Those are 5 series. I love all 5 of them. Some of them obviously I like a little bit more than others, but I do feel like all 5 are absolutely worth the read if you can get your hands on them.